How's it going, East Tennessee? I hope you have stayed warm over this past weekend. These cold temperatures just have not quite let up, but that's not going to last forever. Before we get to that, though, we are seeing some dry conditions because of the cold front that we saw come this past weekend. It was a dry cold front, which is why we didn't really show it too much, but we saw a slight decrease in temperatures. That's why today, Sunday, is going to be the coldest day of the week, but also it just brought some very dry air into the area, as you can see with this kind of white yellowish color, and that's going to continue to sink and move on until we get to about the middle of the week. Now, Tuesday, we were talking about some rain chances, but those have come to look very unlikely. However, the moisture is still going to be very welcome. Something to mention is that we do have a fire danger statement going from Sunday night into Monday morning. We may even see another one get issued going into Monday because of the continued dry conditions, but Tuesday will likely be the end of that. Again, still not too much rain that we're going to see on Tuesday. We get into Wednesday, we're going to see dry conditions again, so you will be in the clear when you do decide to do some traveling for your Thanksgiving holiday. But getting into Thursday, we have a low pressure system bringing a cold front, another big old swath of moisture, and even some rain chances as we get into your Thanksgiving weekend. Now, of course, any rain is good rain because we are still seeing some very intense drought conditions here in East Tennessee. Not as bad as further west in the plains, but we're still seeing moderate drought really throughout the area. A couple spots of just abnormally dry conditions, and there's one area of growing severe drought down here in southeastern Tennessee. But here's what you need to know for your Thanksgiving weekend. Your Thanksgiving day will be warm, but there is a very light chance for some showers as we get very late into the night. Friday is going to be your main day to see those rain chances because of the passing of the cold front, and temperatures are going to drop back down into the 50s. And the weekend, we're going to see temperatures actually rebound a little bit, but they will stay cooler until we get into the beginning of next week. So here's a look at Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. I told you you're going to be in the clear for travel because high pressure is still going to be dominant of our weather pattern. But that cold front's going to start to work its way in during the early hours of Thursday and get into the area on Thursday night. Now, this system, our models have shown this not giving as much rain as it was originally looking like. So your Thursday night could be mostly in the clear when you're traveling back home from Thanksgiving night. If you're traveling on Friday, that's when the chance to see some rain actually comes along, but it's still a lot lighter than what we were originally expecting. You can see that rain on Friday morning, especially if you're in those higher elevations. And if it's still cold enough in those higher elevations, you may also see a little bit of wintry mix, a couple flurries kind of flying through the area. But again, nothing that's going to lead to any accumulation that is too high, and that does seem to clear out as we get into later of Friday evening. Now, unfortunately, our rain totals have dropped from yesterday. We're now looking at a quarter inch to maybe a half an inch max, looking like those higher totals are down here in the valley and further south, and a little bit up here in the mountains as well, getting into Southwest Virginia. But just kind of to wrap that all up and package it nicely, your Thanksgiving is going to be comfortable. 61 degrees for your high with some mostly cloudy or partly sunny skies. And again, that very late chance until we get later into the night. You might even be asleep by then. But here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Sunday was the coldest day of the week, and now Monday is going to be the same temperature as Saturday. At the end of the week, we're going to max out on your Thanksgiving with 61 degrees before that cold front drops us back down into the 50s. But good news, it looks like we are going to rebound as we start our next week heading into December.